Hello guys, this is Daniel from MSAccess.nl from the Netherlands. Having a new surprise for you is the HTML form inside Excel. I got also an application inside Access, but this time I'm going to show you it from Excel. So here I got a data table inside Excel, and I will show you the form. So this content is HTML. So I asked ChatGPT to make this for me. So I go back to the sheet. I copied the headers, all the header names, control till the end, control copy, paste them in ChatGPT and asked Chat to make a modern looking materialized form. Yeah. And he made it just in a few minutes, very fast. And this is what he came up with, this form. So you can type a company name, company test, Daniel, street, do something, city. And also like with email, this is nice. So there's like validation rules. Enter a valid email. Yeah. So maybe I make it a little bit bigger. You can see enter a valid email. But this is not so good. And also nice is like a date picker. If I click on the date, I can select the date. See, it's nice looking. Okay, and the date is in there. Yeah. This button PV.json, this is the data entered in JSON format. I don't need it, but I let it in. You can ask Chat to remove it or remove it yourself. The reset button, then it will set all the fields to empty. And the wonder button, save. So if I click here, it has to be saved right here to the sheet, the database. You click save and you see there it is. Yes. So how do we do this? Here's a pop-up form, message box, new record has been saved with the ID number 27. Yes, 27. This message box is from Excel. So I click on the HTML, save, and I get this message from VBA. So there is communication between the HTML form and VBA. I will explain this later. So how does it work? I close the form, we go to developer, we go to Visual Basic. So here on the left, you see I made two forms. This is the web form. So what did I do? If we go to insert and then user form, you get a new user form. Make it some bigger like this. Now we have to enter a web browser control. It's on here. Maybe it doesn't show. If it doesn't show, you do right click and you click on additional controls. And here you can look for the Microsoft web browser control and you add it, yes. And then it will show here. So if I click on here and I make like this box, there it is. And I will rename it. Yes. Not my original language, English. You can hear it. HTML viewer. Yes, so that's important because I will use this name inside the VBA. Yeah. If you go to the user form and the web control is empty, there's no HTML in there. So how do we get it in? So I stored the HTML not in a file, but inside Excel. I got this HTML sheet. I got three documents in here, which I can use. The middle one is inside text control. Text control is developer insert, and then you have text control and you can insert in there. And with properties, you can rename it, and I called it HTML code 2. I will not save it now because we already have here one. But so like this is HTML code 1, 2, and 3. See, ambiguous name. I was expecting that, so it's not. I will delete this, but I want to show how to enter a text box. And then I copy paste just the data from ChatGPT in there. Yeah, so this is the HTML file. And I'm gonna load this, and there's the form. Yes, you close it down. And we go to the VBA. So we have a module. This is the DAO. This is module DAO DB because that's all the code for the database. It's not a lot of code. See it here on the right. It's just there's some codes, but it's not a lot because some of this code we're not using. If you go to the web form declarations, okay, we got the code for the web form. That's all. It's also not a lot. And here you can see right to HTML viewer. So we have to dimension this as a web browser. Web browser will be as a web browser control. So we go to, you have to set the reference first. We go to tool references, and you need the Microsoft Internet Controls, Microsoft HTML object library, and the Microsoft DAO 3.6 object library. That's for the database. Yes. So the first thing what's happening if you open the customer's record set is it will open, okay, let me see, open the sheet DB. That is the database from the sheet. So set DB engine create object. This is to open the DAO object. And the database is this workbook full name. And there are some properties add to it. And set IMAX to 0. IMAX to 0 is then you can change the data both ways. Most people don't know is you have IMAX 1, IMAX 2, but also IMAX 0. That's a little hack. I will tell you more about it. So use this string, and this will set DB engine open database, and this will open this database with this as this workbook as a database. So the workbook is the database. The record sets can be loaded from like sheets or list objects. Yeah, so the database can have multiple tables, sheets, or whatever. Yeah, so the workbook is really acting as a database. It's really interesting. Now, for instance, if we open the record set, so for instance, this string is the customers here list is the sheet name. You need to add the $sign. If you only need the sheet name, you also need the brackets. Yeah, but I use the list objects. So list objects is the table in the sheet, for sheet number 1. So that's the customer sheet. The first list object, there's only one table in there. And then I use the range address. So the range address is the range this table is using. That's working more accurate, but you can also keep it simple with this, only using this, but this is more accurate. I would advise to use the range address. Then open the DAO record set, we'll call another function, and we'll select stereo, that's what means asterisk, how do you call it? We'll select all data from this table. So it's interesting, so this is SQL. You can use now SQL, so you can use select where ID is 14 or where company name is N, whatever. You can use SQL inside Excel. So that's quite interesting too, for those guys who know how to work with SQL. So then it will, so open DAO, so it will call this function and set the record set RS to, it will open from the database, the record set, the query. So you will select everything from the sheet rate from this address name. Open Dynaset, DBC changes. So the Dynaset means you can change the data. Now then I do last move first to load all the records in the data in the record set, and I debug print the record count to see if everything is in there. I run this function. See, it says 26. So 26, like you see here, 26 records are in there. So that's correct. And the database and the record set are dimensioned public. That will mean it can be now addressed everywhere. So also in the form now, the record set can be addressed. So we go back to the form code. So write to HTML viewer. So the web browser control is set to the HTML viewer. Then it navigate to a blank page. So this is like to prevent like for errors. Object silent is true is also to cancel all warnings if there are any warnings. This is when we use the HTML code 3 HTML. We'll show this later. Then you can show a table. But now we use the HTML code 2. So we load this in the string worksheets HTML sheet, and it's called all objects to address the text box called HTML code 2, and then get the text from this object. So now this string will load this HTML text. Yeah, we'll get into this string. Now with the web browser control .document, this is the document inside the web browser control, we open the document and then we write the SCHM, the HTML text, directly to the document. So you don't have to open a file or anything from your hard disk. It's writing from the sheet directly into the web browser control. So that's quite neat. No, you don't need any extra files on your directory or wherever. Then it will close the document down again because you don't need it anymore. It has been written. Now you also need, this is very important, set button 1. So we have here on top a dimension dim width events button 1 as HTML button element. Yes. So button 1 is an HTML button element, and dim width events means we can also control if you click on it. So that's very interesting. So, and how do we set this button? We get the document by ID. So you can get all the elements from the HTML by ID. So your button has to have this ID. If it has another ID on the button name, you have to fill it in here. So I changed it, or you can ask ChatGPT to make the button, give the button an ID with, say, button or whatever. Yeah. So now he gets this ID. Now this button will react to click events. So if you have here private set function on click. So when you click on the button on the HTML, this code will be run. We'll show this to you. And then it will call save records. Save records is this function underneath. If errors nothing, then call open customers errors. Like, for instance, if there has been an error or something and this record set is gone because it's loaded in memory, it will reload the record set. So that's for safety. If something went wrong with the record set, it will reload the record set. New ID is get new ID. That's a function. It will just look up the last ID and add 1 to it. So like if the new ID is 26, last one is 27, and you enter a new record, it will look up 27, add 1, and you have the new ID. Now, then errors, record sets called errors. Errors add new for each field in errors fields. So the errors fields names are the headers of your record set. So in customers, on top, you got the headers. Yeah. So the headers are the field names. Yeah. So the fields. So if the field name is ID, then you will fill the record set ID will be new ID. Else the record set, and say for instance you have company, record set company, yeah, is maybe the EBW get already. So this will get the value you entered in the HTML file, and it's getting the element by ID, and the ID is the same as the field name. So company in this case, yeah. In HTML, we turn it to lowercase. So company can have uppercase first letter. So in HTML, we turn it to lowercase. And so this is all. So it loops to all the records, so all the headers, and is looking in the HTML file for those column headers, field headers. These are the field headers. from the record set. So if I open the form again, yeah, so you have to ask chat or do it yourself. So you say, okay, every HTML input element, it's called an input element, has to have the ID of the label or the record set you posted in. So company, this has the ID company. You can see the code in several ways. You can, like, if you right click, you can go to view source. Oh shit, that's not right. Sorry. If you right click, you see source, and here you get the source code. Yeah. So you saw like input field. There's an icon for phone, mobile phone. Label. Okay. See here, like input ID. You see here is lowercase mobile phone. Yeah. So it has to be the same like the mobile phone inside the sheet here on top. But that's why lowercase, because we have to turn it to lowercase because here you have uppercase. Yeah, so that's all the code. So it's looking to checking all the fields in the HTML file. Yeah, and loading it, adding it to the record set. So very short code. And then at the end, you have to do errors update. And then we have the message bug, new record has been saved. That's optional. Yeah, so now we say the button here called save records, for instance. So if we go back to the form, if we go, yep, and we go save, see, here it is, save records. And then see, it's sketching, VBA sketching the HTML on click event. But that's because we dimmed it with events button as HTML button element. So that's pretty cool. They are communicating. So then it's opening the record set. Yeah. This workbook engine, opening the database, opening the record set. And now getting new ID is the get new ID is open record set and selecting the max ID as max ID from customers. Yeah. Then the new ID is +1, get new ID. So it will give it to the function back. I got here on error resume next. That's dangerous because it will not error out on errors. So for instance, if there's one like if you're not using like a field name, it will give an error. For instance, you make a form, the database has much more fields than you're using in the form. This code will probably give an error. So that's why on error resume next, I put it in there. So if you're using lesser input fields than you have on your table, maybe you can error out. So that's why. So I enter code here, and here new record has been saved, 27. We close the form down, and there it is. Yeah, the new record has been added. So in this way, you can use all kind of nice designed HTML forms or whatever inside of Access. This is also possible, like this is changing the Excel file into, with one click, into a searchable and sortable HTML table. Yes. So for big tables, it's very neat, good looking. You can search in it and you can sort it. It's very fast, faster than Excel with this kind of stuff. And you also could send this HTML file by email or on the OneDrive or whatever. I will show this in the next video. Making this HTML form without using a web browser control. Yes, this is also possible. And this will be the next video. Also the video with the HTML table will be on the calendar. And also a video about nice HTML login. How do you call login forms? Yes, a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Follow my channel. And if you need an experienced Access Excel VBA programmer, don't hesitate to contact me, Daniel, msaccess.nl from the Netherlands. See you soon. Bye bye.